In this video, let's talk about best diets for men to look and feel their best. It seems like eating ought to be straightforward. You eat the food varieties you like in the amounts that satisfy you, and it's as simple as that. Notwithstanding, while that is one method for moving toward things, the greater part of us find that such a free-form way to deal with our eating regimen is excessively free and can prompt indulging, supplement uneven characters, and feeling inadequately. Also, we as a whole need to be sound and keep up with our optimal weight and body creation. Hence, there are numerous famous weight control plans that intend to give construction and rules or standards to direct everything about your eating, from what you ought to eat and what you ought to keep away from to when you ought to eat and the amount you eat. Every one of these eating regimens has its own surefire advantages and explicit objectives, with the bringing together subject supporting generally speaking well-being and ideal body weight. From paleo to Whole30, the Nordic eating routine to the Ornish diet, and vegetarian to Atkins, the menu of diets is by all accounts continually developing. While it's dependably ideal to have options while deciding, the mind-boggling number of well-known eats fewer carbs these days can at last prompt loss of motion by examination. How might anybody be supposed to filter through every one of the choices and pick the best eating routine? Talking with your doctor or enrolled dietitian can be a helpful methodology, or you can attempt different weight control plans and perceive how you feel. Everybody's body is unique, so what turns out best for you may not function also for another person. All things considered, the best weight control plans for men regularly have specific shared characteristics that make them successful, like underscoring sound vegetables and nutritious organic products, restricting sugar, and zeroing in on entire, normal food sources rather than handled and refined fixing. Best overall Mediterranean diet. The Mediterranean eating routine wins our decision in favor of the best eating routine by and large on the grounds that the proof justifies itself. It's presumably the most explored and tried diet around, with discoveries exhibiting its better capacity than bring down the gamble of numerous persistent illnesses, diminish muscle to fat ratio, and work on actual well-being and execution. The Mediterranean eating routine is designed according to the ordinary eating examples of the Mediterranean area, particularly Greece, around the 1960s, because of the way that this populace had remarkably low bases of way of life sicknesses like sort 2 diabetes, heftiness, and coronary illness. What makes the Mediterranean eating routine fruitful is that it depends on sound nourishing standards. Eat entire, regular food varieties with some restraint and stay away from handled food varieties. The eating routine empowers the utilization of vegetables, natural products vegetables, entire grains, nuts, seeds, spices, flavors, fish, and additional virgin olive oil, which gives mitigating hard sound fats. Poultry, eggs, cheddar, and yogurt can be consumed in restricted sums, and red meat is deterred. Food sources to keep away from incorporate handled meats like franks and hot dogs, refined oils, trans fats, handled food sources, refined grains like white bread and pasta, improved refreshments, and any food varieties with added sugars like frozen yogurt and jam. Best for weight loss, WW. The WW diet, previously known as Weight Watchers, is one of the better eating regimens for weight reduction, especially enduring weight reduction. While the eating routine supports nutritious food varieties like vegetables, entire grains, lean proteins, and vegetables, it restricts no particular food sources, which might be one reason it is much of the time fruitful in the long haul. As a rule, hardship or having specific food varieties forbidden expands the longing to eat them. The WW diet credits focus on all food sources in light of their calorie content and supplement profile. Calorie counters are dispensed a specific number of focuses each day founded on their body size, activity level, and weight reduction objectives. However, they can pick anything food sources they need inside that system, remembering that solid, sinewy food sources like vegetables will be really filling and less exorbitant from a focus's viewpoint. Along these lines, the eating regimen can help ingrain economic way of life eating changes as opposed to just acting as a present moment crash diet. Best for high blood pressure, DASH diet. The scrambled diet, which presents dietary ways to deal with stop hypertension, is intended to help ideal pulse. Investigations have discovered that people who follow the eating regimen can diminish their pulse and work on cardiovascular well-being. The sign of the eating regimen is restricted sodium consumption, covering the most extreme everyday remittance at 2300 milligrams. There is likewise a lower sodium variant of the eating routine for those with further developed hypertension. In this cycle, everyday sodium admission is restricted to 1500 milligrams. Besides that, the scrambled diet keeps reasonably guidelines for smart dieting works, zeroing in on vegetables, natural products, entire grains, and low-fat dairy with some utilization of lean meats, eggs, poultry, vegetables, nuts, and solid fats. Best for digestive issues, low FODMAP diet. Assuming you have a crappy gut condition or experience the ill effects of gas, bulging, heartburn, and continuous runs in the wake of eating vegetables, natural products, vegetables, and certain grains, you may be delicate to food varieties that contain FODMAPs, which represents fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols. These are short-chain starches and a portion of exactly the same fermentable filaments that the useful microscopic organisms in your stomach really like to use. In any case, assuming you have uneven characteristics in the microorganisms in your stomach or have an excess of microbes compared with useful microscopic organisms in your microbiome, you might battle to process FODMAPs. This can bring about gas, swelling, heartburn, looseness of the bowels, and obstruction. Sadly, albeit the low FODMAP diet can be very powerful at mitigating GI side effects, it is very prohibitive and dispenses with a ton of nutritious food sources. In the first of 3 phases of the eating regimen, all high FODMAP food varieties are taken out from the eating regimen. This incorporates numerous food sources including onions, garlic, cruciferous vegetables, leeks, peaches, apples, watermelon, cherries, blackberries, beans, lentils, wheat, rye, dairy, nuts, sugars, fake sugars, and liquor. In stages 2 and 3, a portion of these food sources might be once again introduced, yet many individuals find they need to adhere to low FODMAP food sources as it were. Best for men over 60, Mind diet. The brain diet is intended to help mental well-being notwithstanding general well-being, so an incredible choice for maturing men needs to forestall mental deterioration. The brain diet, which represents Mediterranean-run intercession for neurodegenerative postponement, is basically a half-breed between the Mediterranean eating routine and the scrambled diet. Both of these well-known slims down have been displayed to diminish the gamble of different ongoing infections like diabetes, coronary illness, weight, and metabolic disorder, which is probably owing to the calming impacts of the eating plan. Persistent poor quality aggravation is guessed to be the main driver of these illnesses as well as dementia, so it's a good idea to focus on similar standards and food sources to help cerebrum well-being. Something pleasant about the brain diet is that it's extremely direct. There are 10 food varieties you are urged to zero in on and 5 food varieties to stay away from. The 10 food sources that ought to make up the main part of your eating routine are salad greens, vegetables as a general rule, berries, nuts, beans, olive oil, fish, entire grains, poultry, and wine. The 5 food varieties to stay away from being spread are margarine, cakes and desserts, cheddar, red meat, and seared food. Best for men trying to gain mass, paleo diet. The paleo diet hits its pinnacle of ubiquity a couple of years prior, yet it actually has some worth. It depends on the fairly disputable reasoning that we would be better off assuming we ate as the cave dwellers ate. It meets resistance by deriding specific food varieties for the most part viewed as nutritious, similar to beans, lentils, and different vegetables. However, it has the sound hidden objective of staying away from handled food sources. Numerous disciples of the paleo diet overdo it on meat consumption, making it conceivably pernicious to well-being. However, on the off chance that you hold a fair way to deal with your admission, it tends to be a nutritious approach to eating, particularly on the off chance that you are hoping to build up or add mass. The eating regimen incorporates a ton of calorie-thick food sources like nuts, nut spreads, and red meat. With this, we would like to end this video with the hope that you liked and enjoyed it. If you like our content, make sure that you like our video, and do share your views and opinions with us in the comments section below. Subscribe to the channel to receive regular videos from us, and don't forget to click the bell icon to never miss an update. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one. Until then, peace.